back. So, when we left off, I had ran everywhere, and yet I was not able to continue. So I needed a code to get past the north. It told me I should go to the airship, but it doesn't work. It says I can ride the funicular down to the southern road, and yet the button doesn't work. We can try again, I suppose. So here's the thing. It doesn't seem like a puzzle. Exactly. It seems like it's broken. So I was doing it without the hints, but there's not really like puzzles in this, or it's not really like too difficult. They kind of show you where you can go. The problem is, it'll tell me I can go to the airship, and yet nothing happens. I don't know if it's broken or what. I went to the Steam forums to see if anybody else is having issues, and I did see some people saying they could not activate the airship, that it was going to get patched. Some people could, though. So, not sure. There's not enough people who've played it. Anyways, let's try the airship again. And I don't recall seeing a code anywhere. If you're fresh in here, this is the Silent Swan. It's got a cool atmosphere. Experimental in the sense that it's mega structures and a super map, and you just do a lot of running to get everywhere. All the droning ambience and kind of look of it's cool. That's what kind of keeps you interested, and almost the morbid curiosity. There's bugs everywhere. You're clipping into shit. You're not able to walk up the stairs without jumping. The flags are all out of sorts. Some of the dialogue can be triggered. That seems like it's late game and reveals late game spoilers before I've even like gotten anything to go there. I'm not actually sure 100%. I got the achievement for getting all of the small bells, which is the save points. When you save, you get like 5 seconds of hang time. But it doesn't even feel like I'm at the end of the game. So I don't know if they just give you the achievement for just touching the one over there, or if it actually counts every one of them. Anyways, it's been very buggy, and because of the bugs and the jank, despite some of the atmosphere and cool stuff like that, I don't know what is broken in this and what is just possibly a puzzle. There's been no precedent for puzzles in this at all. There was one collectible session I had to do to move on earlier. That was about it. Anyways, it's very interesting in a certain way. But very, very jank, very flawed. it's one of those I don't think you could probably recommend it to people really much, but there's certain soul. There's something here that's kind of interesting. Mostly in the complete just almost hands off kind of. So in a normal game, you'd have like invisible walls blocking you or something blocking you, or in this you could just like run for like 40 minutes in a direction, I guess, or like jump into areas that you just like can't get out of. There's like no way to like get back unless you just turn the game off and on and go to your last save point. I don't know how intentional. I don't think they really like make use of that in a cool way. It's not like, oh, this is really difficult and it's really like cohesive with, you know, some kind of game design. It's just like, it's just how it is. It's kind of interesting to me that just doesn't give a fuck there. Because it's not like an Outer Wilds or something, right? Where it's like open world and you run around and you find clues and secrets and work your way to some answer or something, and you could just kind of go in any order, and it's about finding knowledge. This is more like objectives on rails almost, but and yet you can do all that. And the problem is when the game breaks, possibly, or there's jank, the world is your oyster. You don't know 100% if something's broken, if you're just fucked. You're not finding shit, right? Can't go anywhere. So the reason it was a question mark in the stream title is because I don't know if I can actually finish. So here's the thing. There's probably playthroughs online. I could probably find the code, assuming it's not RNG. Or there's some flag I have to raise to even use the code regardless of having it. But then I'd kind of miss out on the proper finding of it, and if there's any stuff in between. So that's a last resort, just to kind of finish it. Assuming it's broken. Now the thing is, in the story, I go down there, I set up the projector, I see the projector's information, I talk to the man on stilts. Afterwards, he says, get on the airship, go to the north, back to Hanan or whatever. You can find this like elder guy. He maybe can help you find the Celine lady. And I'm like, okay. And then I come up here and it says I can't use the airship. So thing is, the stilts guy, most of his shit was like out of order, it felt like. Like it said I knew about the projector before I'd even seen it. After I found it. It said there was a bell noise that I, you know, was supposed to have heard from the stilts guy, and it never happened. Well, if it did, I just couldn't hear it. So I wonder if things are just fucked, like flag-wise there. I can't talk to him again. I could try, now that I've turned the game off and on a bit. I could turn the game off and on up here. Wait, there's no save point. I've been to all the key areas in this. Like I said, I've been to the amusement park. It just doesn't let me hit the button even though it gives me a clue. Because now it tells me to do stuff. To go down there. I don't know if at this point it is supposed to be like truly open world. I doubt it. Like, so you could just clip into shit here. If I go south to put in the code, it doesn't work. That's just something we're talking about. Godzilla. Yeah, I saw the new Godzilla movie. It fucked. It was good. I enjoyed it. Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Those forum posts that were saying, you know, they couldn't use the airship. Some people said they could, and they just couldn't figure out what to do after that. I mean, that might just be somebody's problem. Thing is, there's nothing that states that our dude has to learn how to use an airship. There's nothing the Stiltman says about having to like decouple this or turn it on. It just says, I've got nowhere to go, or something. I was joking around that maybe it was like some kind of meta, like, you know, his journey, he's obsessed or some shit, he can't go back, he can't go anywhere else, he has to just keep falling or something. But he doesn't know where she is. And for that matter, the story. The story's been a little... It's interesting. I can't tell with how fancy they try to kind of write the dialogue, and with all the out of order stuff and missing information and all these proper nouns and actions and stuff. What is actually surreal, psychological, or symbolic, and what's just supposed to be taken literal? Actually, reading the Steam summary is probably more revealing than the game itself. So. Yeah, we'll just have to see. The problem is, if the game's broken, I can't really finish it. A lot of other shit to get through as well. We're gonna keep trying. I mean, I've already spent probably... The game is only supposed to be a few hours long, and I've already spent a few hours on it. I'm probably well past the point of your average Joe on this, assuming your average Joe can finish it. I get lucky. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine being lost and trying to find like a puzzle. The problem is there is absolutely no reason to think, for how, you know, relatively linear the objectives have been, that I can't do the airship. I haven't eaten yet either. I was gonna go get food after we finished, but... Give me a minute here. The devs seem to respond to most shit and patch the game quite often on Steam now. The problem is, I wonder if PS5 has those same patches. Like I said, I'm playing a physical PS5 version. just saying it's like doesn't work. I just wonder if I have some flags that are fucked. I'm seeing people that are beyond this. No, it doesn't seem like there's any like puzzle or anything. There's nothing to like discover. But I mean, I've been to all sorts of places. Can I get this game digitally? I'd imagine that. I'm actually curious. Okay, yeah. 20. So I'm playing a physical release. Point is, if for some reason it was physical only on PS5, I'd imagine patch support would even be farther behind. Consoles tend to be farther behind PC just in general. Although this did have an update when I started it. Yeah, there's still something cool about the atmosphere and stuff. The game design of it and the bugs and maybe something with the the density, what the areas are filled with and stuff. Maybe touch a bit. I mean, there's a lot that could be touched, I guess. I'm just kind of rambling. There's not much more to say than I've said. I really talked a lot about it last stream. I'm just trying to find some kind of way to progress, but I'm just afraid the game's broken. It says I can click him, but it doesn't do anything. And I just sit here. I'm gonna look up a playthrough. I'm gonna see if there's an actual playthrough of this game. I don't really imagine there is. I'm gonna see that, because if this person runs straight to the airship where I was, then the game's broken. Right? I The thing I haven't tried is running all the way back through the game, but that just feels so ludicrous that it wouldn't even be right. So, this person's getting like dialogue when they walk in here. Although this is an airship somewhere else. It's like... This person took an elevator back near a really old area that said, that he's gonna use an airship before getting to the city. And when he walks in there, it says that you can't use the airships unless you've been to another airship or something. It doesn't say that on this one. And there is absolutely no reason I would have ever went to this other airship one. Not to mention it's like 20-30 minutes back. Very odd. I don't know if that's what they're saying though. It's just a fast travel. Yeah, it says here, and since I attempting to pilot one manually was the easiest way to meet my end, it meant I would have to reach the next station in order to fly between them. Now it's talking about the bell tower tolling. I never saw either. Someone is tolling the bell in Urzum. Yeah. What's with these like important story moments that were for going up this tower that there's no reason to go up for? Thing is, I went up a bunch of random areas before, and it was very not worth it. You know, I've walked all the way to the nowhere, whatever. I went up a bunch of random towers in this place and some of the areas before, so it's like you just kind of start to follow the road. Like I turned on the electricity, and it was like, all right, you know, you turn on the electricity, you should be able to get through the gate. That was pretty obvious, so I just go back to the gate. Yeah. But there's like another airship tower back in that zone. I'm guessing it just lets me get back a ways or something. I'm not sure. Can I just get to where I need to be by just walking then? The thing is, it's not a short walk. I mean, that was like the first hour of the game. But here we go. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I need to go to the west side of the city. It's just odd. Like, that's where you would assume you would put something at the airship tower or something to ensure that somebody sees that or has to go to it. Like in the note for this or something, you could just put like, oh, well, I've put the, once you put the thingamajigs together, you have to head back up to the top or something to fully activate it or some shit, you know? Something just goofy. I don't know where I actually might be the wrong place. Yeah, because it's funny, I'm way farther than this person. And yet I'm seeing stuff that I don't recognize like halfway into the thing. I don't think this person even finishes the game. Yeah. They don't. So, well, that's not very helpful. We're on our own. We do know there are some shenanigans, though. Can I even go back? That would be the ultimate kick in the pants. Or just jumping, dude. You can't pull this thing back up. Hell, I can't even get back in. Yeah, this was supposed to be like 3 hours long, but it's like broken. So there's a little bit more time I'm gonna have to spend with it. But yeah, we'll be getting back into it. Yeah, I can't even go back up this, dude. If I saved here, I couldn't even. I mean, we're gonna have to hope that airship thing worked out. Well, no bike. I guess we're walking. Yeah, like I'm all for open-ended, but that's not really what's going on here. There's events that have happened that I never actually heard or saw that are assumed to have been heard or seen. There's fast travels that can only be used if you find a particular point. But there's absolutely like no reason to have gone and found it. And yet there's still like a story thing attached to it that it says I did, and just the flags and things are just all out of order. Everything's just really broken. To the point where it's like, it might be beyond broken, right? Like if I saved down there and I needed to go back in the city, I just couldn't even get back up. Maybe I could turn the game off and on, but... And then on top of that, the sheer distance, man. I'm having to walk back through the first hour of the game, essentially. It's interesting because it's not like open-ended in the sense that it's like a puzzle, like something you have to like figure out and that kind of freedom. It's relatively linear, especially if you turn back on story hints. I'm gonna just tell you where to go. That's why it's so interesting, man. It's like it just feels in a way like I was trying to do some experimental shit, but it's like not really. It's just like kind of broken or something. I didn't check that video very carefully, but think back near where not exactly where we turned on the power, but the big tower before that I tried looking for a way up and I couldn't, because it didn't really matter because we were trying to get to the gate. Might have something. It's also interesting, let's say they did know, right, that there was a chance that maybe you would have to come back or something. I mean, because the dialogue's all fucked, I highly doubt it's the intent. If I would buy it more if the dialogue wasn't fucked. Or they mentioned the bell, and there was no bell sound for me. And another thing is there's no bikes on the both sides of these, so going backwards is like a huge pain in the ass, right? Even with the bikes, I mean, I'd probably get like 50% extra movement or something. So if I like ran over there to that, would like something happen? I mean, there's just a giant highway. I don't know if there's actually stuff to like find. And my hints are broken. I walked up to an area where it wouldn't let me actually use the elevator. Well, it's odd, there's things that feel like they're like not allowing you to do something. It's not like open. It feels more like one of those games where it looks open more for the visuals than any actual expectation for exploration or kind of freedom on that front. But then there's like hyper-missable flags of story possibly going on here. We'll see. No wonder there's so many people in the forums. Well, not so many. Not many people obviously playing this, but there's some people. This one's pretty unknown. Yeah, so you can see an airship. I mean, I would never know that's an airship until I've seen the other one. But, this has happened too before. Guess what? All that walking again. It only saves when you do manual saves. I'll try saving at the bottom of the stairs at least. That'll save the city walk, but thing is, I feel like because you can walk into areas and not be able to get out of them, or just walk like 30 minutes away, they have this save system set up specifically to like almost give them an out because of all the broken shit. The problem is if the game crashes or something, then you have to rewalk it like everywhere. So. Like I said yesterday, it's a morbid curiosity at this point. There's just something fascinating about it. I think even if the game was like polished to a T, there'd be problems, but those are definitely the biggest problem. The jank and the glitch city. I mean, this doesn't even, you can't even say it's like supposed to be more free roam open-ended. Like, I mean, this doesn't even call the thing back up. I have to like jump. And if I missed, I don't even know. I mean, if it missed, I'd actually still be able to continue. There is a point it touches the grass down there. And the thing is, there's been other areas where I would like to jump to get to a new area, and it doesn't work. There's a few invisible walls. Like, there's just odd moments like that. I can't parse the fucking intent sometimes. I mean, there's no intent for this. There's not even a bike. But I don't have a choice. So I think the idea was you, for some reason, I guess, would have maybe already found that airship, found out you couldn't use it, and then you come this way. There's no in particular reason to have found that airship, because the whole reason you explored that area was to open up the gate to this. And that since most things you explore are just kind of empty or glitch, they kind of are like immersion break, and you're like clipping through walls and stuff like that. I tend to not want to push the limits on that kind of thing. There's enough walking anyways. It feels more like a linear game with open visual kind of world, and you're like, you shouldn't actually walk around it. You need to stay on track, but I mean, it's there technically. They just don't put invisible walls, which, you know, I respect, but also, like I said, I mean, if there's any precedent, any jank or glitches, you could just walk off. And then just truly be fucked, man. Anyways, yeah, so I think the idea was you're supposed to have touched all that airship stuff, walked to the city, got into the airship there, and then it lets you go back, I assume, this one. And then I'm supposed to walk north from here again to meet the elder or something. I don't even remember where they said the elder guy was. They said it was like the base of the airship or something, and then you go east or something. I don't even fucking know. They're very stingy about these bikes too. These bikes have very, like out of all the glitches they could have, right? All of the invisible walls they could erect, they don't put them, you know, to stop you from just running off into the fucking void for absolutely no reason. They don't put them, you know, to stop you from moving, you know, past the story trigger. I mean, that shouldn't be an invisible wall. It should be like an actual like thing that you have to interact with. But they stop you from riding the quick bicycle onto the grass. And they stop you from moving to like the theme park ahead of time or something. It's just like, alright, man. Can't I just walk over there? Can't even like jump over this. Which is odd considering I can just get down there. Let's find out. I think it's just your jump height, not really walls. But there is an invisible wall out here. Why is there not an invisible wall in some of the other areas I've walked on the ground? I guess the city area is just a little different. You just kind of, because technically there's like highways that lead to zones. They just kind of have it all open. In this situation, I don't even know if there's a reason not to let you. I mean, the reason would be that normally when you're on this highway, there's like story popping up on the bottom that you can read through them. Or maybe they try to like time some of the reading with the highway length and the bikes and stuff. Problem is, reading and moving even on like a simple highway is kind of a little bit of a bitch. For fancy, they try to write the dialogue, so you kind of just stop and read it because it auto goes, like you don't forward it. Well, you can forward it on accident and miss stuff, like if you jump. Very odd. I think it should be manually forwarded, but just on a different button, like circle. I don't even think circle does anything. That way you can read it at your leisure even when you're riding, but still kind of read over the text. I think a backlog would be just nice too. Because it tries to be almost like a little, I don't want to say poetic, but we kind of sometimes pushing that more artsy or something. Which I got no problem with in essence. Theory. Ooh. Did we just dodge the crash? I jumped and it froze. Is there just like a chance when you're like loading the next thing to crash? I mean, that's happened to me already once. When we were walking towards the theme park from underneath because I couldn't, the funicular wouldn't work, and I tried to jump and then I just fell underneath it. As I moved my way there, I probably walked a good 5-10 minutes. It just crashed. Whew. I dropped my fucking ankle, dude. Something bit me yesterday or what? Doubt it. Bugs probably all dead. It's cold out. I'm gonna assume we can actually get up there then. Kind of a staircase or something. There's probably just an elevator that I'd missed. And there was no reason to look around. Like I said, I'd already tried walking up some of these towers, and you can do a little bit, but they end up just being really glitchy. Interesting, it's red. Supposed to be yellow. Is this gate gonna be like closed? Surely not. The idea was that you came in here, there's a big gate, and then you saw that, you know, there's red. You follow the red. You know, clearly there needs to be like electricity in the gate to use the switch. And then you go over there and you go past all that down to there, and there's a bunch of little collectibles you grab to put together. And then these turn yellow. So you're like, okay, I come back, yellow, I go in here, and then I just move on. There's no reason to think you'd go up. And yet, the game assumes I went up. Has story beats that mention a sound that apparently only happens when you go up. And I guess to unlock the fast travel, I would have had to have been up anyway. So. But we made it back. The game didn't crash. Let's see if it works in reverse. outside are just really obviously sitting here. I mean, there's a lot of like fancy architecture and it's real dark and stuff like that, you know. If there's not a good reason, yeah, there it is, I think. But I mean, when you're running around, it's like, you know, you've been running like non-stop, right? You're just like, oh man. You know, there's 5 of them. They look all identical. It just looks like a piece of fancy like background, right? And you just were running for 20 minutes, so you're like, oh yeah, I know where I need to go. I'm just gonna run through all this, and kind of matches the gaze. Like, I mean, of course you're not gonna fucking go for it. Assuming these are even though. I like how I couldn't even see this until I get closer. Maybe I would have thought, oh, maybe there's something here if I notice that. My thing is, if this is so important, just make it so I can't open the gate unless I'm up here. Put some ravens at the top of this tower or something. Or just have it mentioned in the note when I put all the neurons in that to fully open the gate, you have to do it from the top. You could even have it when you walk over to the gate where he's like, huh, I can't get in the gate. I'm gonna have to find a way or something. Instead of having the switch down there. And then you'd have to come up here. Like, I don't know, like, it'd be one thing if they're trying to be more hands-off and puzzly, but... Because I played a million games that have way less hints. But the thing, there's like a precedent, right? There's like... what the rest of the game is like, and... what you'd expect out of it when it comes to just like hands-off puzzle solving. And this game's been pretty much just linear, so... No reason to think you would just kind of free ball up here. It's like you don't know there's an airship. You can't go anywhere. Right. I've already been to one though. Of course. Let me guess there's a specific order because shit's fucked and they never expected you to somehow not do this in the first place. Is it not gonna mention the bell? That guy had bell dialogue. Oh, there's the bell. But I've already been there and talked to the guy in the bell. See, what if you... What if you... So, okay, if I didn't know that I did this out of order, to me this would be like, oh, I'm supposed to go back. Something's changed now that I've explored over here. I mean, there should still be something off considering it says that you have to find the other tower and I've already found it, but like... Yeah, I think they really need to just force you to come up here. There's so many reasons to not bother coming up here. The empty glitchy towers that you can explore with nothing in them. The amount of walking, so like you just are ready to move on to the objective, right? And you know the objective is the gate in the first place. You know you need to move there. That was the whole puzzle. There's a fucking power line, right? I don't... Just put the power switch up here or something, man. Put the gate switch like... do one of those stupid things where they don't let you leave until you check out the airship. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. And yeah, some of them are gonna remove freedom and shit, but it's like, unless you rework the whole thing, there's just so many reasons to skip. So now what's the problem? I need to go back to activate this. Why can't I do it in reverse, man? It'd be one thing if it was like, you know, there was no bell thing that happens. And it truly was, I just didn't explore enough. And they just expect you, you know, in this world where you walk like an hour to everything to make sure not to miss a detail. I mean, that's fine if that's the intent. But I don't think it's the intent because I'd already met the guy who rang the bell before he rang the bell and talked to him. Even though he said he rang the bell, I never heard the bell. So... what now? I don't know if the flags are gonna be fucked, or if I can just move on and talk to this old guy they mentioned. So, because I'd have to walk all the way back, and possibly the funicular, it wouldn't work. What is this? The IO staircase, man. I don't remember what his instructions were. He said just to meet this guy down here. He said like at the base of the tower after you get off of the thing. And then go like north or something. I don't even remember. We're going to the dam, I think. So here's the problem. I doubt we can check the dialogue again. But the hints are fucked. Is it Celine? We know it's not. I think I went up this before, and it was just like, fuck. I don't remember what he said exactly, because there's no way to check, and he was bugged. He wouldn't say anything again. Really, he should say, you know, his last lines again about where to go. I'm gonna have to walk back to the city either way, probably. I could start with the city. Or I could just explore out here. Try to find what's going on. We're supposed to have gone back and then talked to someone. The thing is, I'm worried that the flags are broke. This motherfucker won't even like be here. Because I've got objectives now for something that was like an hour or two ago. It is what I mean. There's like nothing here. Yeah. And yet, there's something important about that one. I don't have a way to tell where east and north and west is. They said he was near the dam or something, I think. If there's like water, I could follow it, but I don't even know if there's water, dude. The thing is, I can most surely just walk back at the beginning of the game and get fucked, probably. What's that? this auto forward, so I have to redo one sec. Where did this dialogue come from? Was this supposed to be dialogue that plays on my way to the city? Or is this on my way? No, maybe this is where I'm supposed to go? It's funny because I already know the man on the radio is like his other personality or something going on. I guess he's supposed to have a 17-year like memory gap essentially or something as part of the reason he's like coming back here to find this Celine lady. But this is also this like odd Shadow of the Colossus zone that's like got a wall and it's supposed to be all surreal and shit. The story doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Partially the broken dialogue where it's all out of order. Partially them trying to write it in a way that almost seems symbolic or psychological, but I can't tell what's literal and what's not sometimes. How easy it is to skip some of the dialogue, and just kind of the writing in general. I'm just like, they introduce a lot of like characters and places and stuff, and I feel like a story just a bit more focused on just reaching the center and finding this person and lightly explaining the context of his memories might be better, but I don't know. Point is, I think the glitch part's probably done more damage than the writing, but I'm pretty sure I've already walked to the end of the game. I just didn't have the code to open it, and it was just like gave me this like final dialogue about I know who you are, you're Ivor or something, and I imagine that's supposed to. I mean, I thought he had other identities. People kept trying to call him Ivor, whatever the fuck it was, and then he said that person was Ivor. So I just assume it's supposed to be psychological, like he's talking to some other self, and maybe that's supposed to explain the mind jump. But I don't think it's time travel. But so it's funny when I'm hearing dialogue where he's like, I don't know who the man on the radio is, but we've already like found out who the man on the radio is. So it's like, I got no idea. Maybe I'm wrong about that, maybe I didn't understand it, but everything being so fucked and out of order is just like, there's no telling. I look at all this, I think, why? I mean, that's part of what's really interesting about it. I think even if the game wasn't broken beyond belief at points, it would still be kind of interesting. I mean, the idea of just traveling this like mega zone structure, even though you're generally just on highways, like it's not truly open to a certain extent. Like you're still like linear, but like they're trying to give you the feeling of it being open. Like some of that's neat. Like I like some of the aesthetics, I guess, and stuff, right? Some of the atmosphere they're going for. But yeah, just all the broken triggers and all this stuff out of order and the way the story is told and the relatively light gameplay elements and stuff. You're just like, yeah, it's just there's something interesting about it. It's not exactly always in a good way, but it's definitely a morbid curiosity. I mean, there's things I like, and I think it's a student game, is what I read. I mean, that might be totally wrong. I should probably look up for sure, but I mean, they charged $20 for it. So. I mean, at least even if it's in a morbid way, it's more interesting than the usual AAA slop I'll play. I don't think I don't think you could recommend it. I don't think your average Joe would find this interesting. Obviously, I find it interesting in like a design way. Like, yeah, I like the aesthetics and stuff. And if it kept going at a steady clip and wasn't broken to shit, like maybe I'd be okay with it on like quality front. I don't know. It depends on how the story ends and everything. The story's been hit or miss for sure. Mostly miss, but it does set up this feeling of getting to the center of the area and finding out what she's about. And I don't think the interpersonal, like the character stuff's very good. I don't really feel anything about her or him or his little mystery because I don't think it's really like very well fleshed out or very well just like, I don't say initialized. Like I don't feel like this gap in his memories was even like real. I almost thought it was like symbolic the way it was written. Like his you know, like his time's just been a void since then, you know. He literally didn't have any memories for 17 years. I was like, because they just tell you about it so abruptly. One scene just immediately jumps to the next. It's like, yeah, well, I don't remember the last 17 years or something. Like, I mean, people write stuff like that, you know, like it was a blur, it was a void those 10 years, you know. Meaning, like, nothing happened, or everything went really fast, or nothing of importance ever happened compared to, well, you know, what happened before then with his time with Selena or some shit. So it's just like, they just don't make it, like, I feel like clear enough in a way, or maybe I've just read too many surreal, like, symbolic artsy stories or something, so I just assume that. And even just this, like, most people probably wouldn't want to just, like, ride on a bike. Just for a long time. Like I said, the music's cool. Some of the areas look cool. I'm just interested. Like maybe they'll. That's kind of why I'm waiting before I really go too hard on it. But so if you leave this area, what do you just start to forget shit, or do you turn into someone else? Is it literal? Oh my god! I gotta stop. Like I was like, is this the zone? Is it some sealed Shadow of the Colossus area? I'm like, is it all psychological? My thing is the stuff. So the idea is that he started to forget because he left for reasons or the war or something. Now he's remembering his girl and he wants to go back to her or some shit in a way. Like this is the problem. Look at that. It tries to do a lot, but I mean, even in something that was super surreal like Twin Peaks, there's things you can hold on. There's things you know, things you can hold on to, like characters and stuff that help ground the rest of it, and then add to the surrealism and symbolism and shit. Like maybe they just want you to like read into the story really hard, but I feel like they actually do want you to just literally buy what they're saying. I wouldn't even if I kept fucking driving. If I fucking kept reading as I went. I like how that part wasn't in yellow. Was that on purpose? To show that it's just him saying it to himself? Was that supposed to be cute, or did they just fuck it up? Or, like, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like, you can't tell. When your game breaks too much, you don't know what's broken and what's not anymore. There's no going back. I mean, clearly we're going back. But unless there's multiple endings. Don't tell me this is a save point, dude. I mean, it's cute, right? If it is. Oh, it totally is. I've already got the achievement for hitting every save point. I've never touched this one, I don't think. I think there's just an achievement for hitting the last one that tells you got them all or something. Unless this is the beginning and I just don't recognize it. I mean, there was a gate, so I doubt it. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong there. That's where I'm technically backtracking. What's up, Cactus? I don't know, man. I mean, you can see with the dialogue, it's trying to be like philosophical and deep, and you know, it doesn't say things plainly. But then I think there's times it expects you to buy certain concepts and things plainly. And because you're like driving and stuff, and things are broken and out of order, it's like trying to get a grasp on some of it. I mean, the idea of a story where there's a place and the people who leave it or something lose their memories of it and like gain some new identity, and then some guy somehow kind of remembers, and then he goes back to find some lost love or something. Like that could be neat, like a cool surreal story with themes about like memories and people moving on and goofy shit like that. But I just don't think that's exactly what's going on. I don't think there's enough focus, and it's way overly wordy and cryptic about some shit. I mean, once again, it doesn't help that it's broken. I mean, I'm getting a lot of this out of order. Like, I've already seen some of the last bits of dialogue in the game because I went towards the code area. You know, that's why I said, like, you know, some aesthetics and the music, and then the idea of, like, you know, some superstructure map, and, you know, some of the play, you know, some of the story beats that you could try to break down the essence of could be cool, but man, it's just so much as fuck. Like every way. I mean, even sound. I mean, maybe it's just a choice, but I mean, there's no sound other than your footsteps, the bike, and drive it. There is little bits of wind and stuff when we started in the forest earlier. But the city and all that. Maybe it's supposed to be quiet there. Maybe, you know, it's the idea. But there's a certain. Hey, wouldn't I want to hear some wind here? There's been wind in the game. It's not trying to be completely silent. I don't know. Maybe it's an artistic choice on the sound design. The only sound design thing I can say for sure is how loud the fucking footsteps are. They're way too loud. I've had to turn down the sound effects. Here we go. Left or right? Despite all that, I'm not bored by the game. I think it's that, like, just that morbid curiosity and me playing probably so much samey shit, anything that even in a fucked way is just a little off the norm is just something fascinating about it. It's not even like it's that far off the norm. I mean, it's a linear walking sim with an air of pretending to be open. East Shade like. East Shade actually was open, and you rode a little bike and talked to people and figured out where to go. It was just also completely broken to shit, and I couldn't finish it because it kept deleting 2 hours of my saves every time I did like a picture. That also had NPCs with Elder Scrolls kind of zoom in and talk dialogue. Excuse me. Man, what if there's an airship here? How am I gonna get back? There's not. Well, I guess I'll just drive for fucking 20 minutes again. Is there gonna be a train? Find out. See, the funny thing is, like I said, so they expect you to go to that one airship tower first, but I never did because there's no reason to assume you can or need to. And then I've been to the second airship tower, but it doesn't let me go from the first to the second. If I found the second, then the first. Well, I wonder if there is an airship thing here somewhere. There might not. If I cannot fast travel back because I haven't found the second one officially and the flags. We'll see. This is different. Well, there's cool stuff. I mean, music and shit, cool. Yeah, see, I've never touched this before, but I've found all the small bells, apparently. It's, in a way you could say, oh, you know, it's a clever, because there's other games that I've done. I can't name them, but I've seen it before. Instead of counting every single one of them, you just count the last one, assuming everybody got everything on the way. And if they didn't, then that means they just didn't see it, but then they don't know. But the thing is, they just let me walk to the last one of these easily. All I have to do is just, on the map, out of the 7 big numbers, just go to one of them. And yes, if the game wasn't broken, I probably wouldn't have done it at all. Because there's much more pull towards different areas, but I mean... This is funny. I mean, it's a little funny. It's not a problem, it's just kind of... I mean, it breaks the immersion a bit. Do we have some insane NPC here? Really, it's not good. Is it by the same guy? I'm gonna take a guess and say it's more themed because of the story and stuff. It's more like cohesive, you could say. Like it's got a sound that like it all sounds kind of you know, if you're trying to take your story seriously and have like maybe a cohesive atmosphere, you'd probably have like similar sounding music, or you want to like buy into like cinematic kind of sounding like game shit, you'd make it more like orchestral something. Oh, 3 other guys. So it's not an issue of them trying to just make it sound cohesive. It's more just that some of it just sucks. Because in Rabby Ribby, one of its strengths is that it's just totally different genres and like a variety of music everywhere. It's not going for like a singular atmosphere or something. But I mean, most Metroidvanias don't. I mean, something like Hollow Knight has a lot of like, you know, other than like action sounds, it's got similar sounding kind of like sad music or atmosphere music. Rabby Ribby was pretty much just him just popping off. I don't know, everybody's got a pretty decently high bar, so that might not mean it's like really fucked, but alright, Stiltsman. Sounds like everything was just weaker. Introducing new people and the stories and people for your music. It was just a bad choice. I don't know, maybe they just missed the spark, man. I mean, I'm sure they put passion into it, but maybe it just didn't have the same focus, drive, and like I said, I feel like it sounds like it's a Z2D situation where they just started focusing on elements that they couldn't do well or that wasn't their strength. So did he just work on it? Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's pretty problem. So is Gimme working on a different game then too, right? Okay. I was always under the impression that Tevi was mostly just the same guy. I mean, that would explain, I guess, why there's like some cool elements in like a post-game mode that lets you run around more freely, but the core game doesn't because it's other dude's vision. Yeah. Oh well, I haven't played it, so I mean, I can't say too much, but I will. Yeah, we'll have to see. Also, the text. There's something about the small white text that just looks kind of deep, and I have no idea. The shaman. It definitely feels surreal. Yeah, the way. I mean, I guess this guy's a shaman, right? I mean, he's gonna talk a little bit more cryptically, I suppose. Yeah, I'm more interested in SMT Toho, but I feel like if I get time, I should do Tevi this year. I've done a lot of RPGs lately too, and I've probably got Star Ocean and Tactics Ogre coming at some point here, so I'd save Toho a little bit. That'll be a special game. To reach that which lies at the bed of mist, of the mist. So it's the zone. She just happened to reach the zone, the center. We're gonna follow her, I guess. Oh, it is. Wasn't the Stalker originally like that? Or is that just the movie, The Wish Maker, whenever you go there and you can make some wish or something? Unreality. Turns was true, but exchange erases that place or everything within the walls from existence. I think that's a little different. Turns was true. But now it's getting into the literal. I don't think a lot of this is symbolic at this point. This guy's the exposition man. Just the way they write it too, so those kinds of sentences I gotta reread a few times to make sure I'm not missing anything. Fly back to see how there is a... Dude, what if this doesn't work? So did he forget the 17 years because somebody activated the thing? Like it erased his deal and then he had the alternate personality, or does he just have an alternate personality for fun? Who knows, dude? We're just gonna roll with it, man. I don't know if I just missed some dialogue about her. There was definitely some dialogue at the beginning of the game. Like even the very first line of dialogue was clearly meant to be not the first line of dialogue I saw. Like maybe we're missing some serious romance characterization between the two, some relationship stuff. I mean, I get the idea of what he was after with her. I mean, that he's forgotten or something, but it's just like it's holding such an Homestead of Hanan. Okay, at least they let me go to here. But they don't let me go to the city, even though I've been there. You have to go to Hanan first to activate the other ones, I guess. But now I have to manually go back to the city. Great. So they said I have to go to the soldier. Am I supposed to assume the guy in the city is a soldier? Maybe he said he was. I'm just gonna assume that. Maybe I have to use this at the theme park. This key or something. Oh, I should probably save. Man, what if they don't let me go back up the funicular, man? They didn't let me when I was there before. There was no way to go back. I'm hoping now it's just gonna like reload it. guess I can ride a bike this direction this time. Would have been kind of cool if the airships actually like if they just really went all in on it. Like the game's already slow enough, and you just walk everywhere. It'd be kind of cool if the fast travels and some of these elevators actually you had to manually take them, like it would just fly you over there. I mean, maybe the game would break or something. But at this point, it's like you might as well go all in. I love all the floating cars. Are we gonna crash when we hit the trigger? They'll just give you the option. I mean, there's like, your Red Dead, and even Cyberpunk has options to just manually go everywhere and or skip through cutscenes, right? Like you'll be in a passenger seat, and once the dialogue's done, you can choose to fast forward. I feel like this game, considering the pace, like really riding in the airship would be kind of cool. It's not a big deal, but I feel like it's kind of like a little thing it's trying to carve out, but doesn't go quite all the way with it. Because if you're impatient, you've already quit this game. You probably don't mind just riding around if the atmosphere is fine. Or you're into the story in some way. Maybe there's reasons, multiple reasons you could be, but maybe it'd just be too jank. Or because you need to have a fucking airship on the end of each one of these. How do you like get rid of one? I mean, you could just have it be that airship's just there or something. Or the screen fades to black and the airship pops up. That's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. It's just something to chat about while we're riding down that pavement, baby. Well, we're getting there now. The game's officially mentioned where we're supposed to be, which I've already seen. I know about. So now the idea is, I imagine we're going to get the code. The only places left in the game I could think of, unless they're going to introduce more, is the theme park. So maybe we go to the theme park officially, and then we get the code, and then we put it in. I want to try to take this down there. Probably an invisible wall. What the? Now there's an invisible wall, really? You can't just put an invisible wall halfway down with these. You can't do this to me. Oh well. at least I'm curious what's going to be beyond the last bit. I wouldn't call the story effective, but at least it's doing a little something. Like I said, the morbid curiosity on some of this is the bigger drive, but what was Ron Swanson from? I can see his face with the mustache, but never watched. Was it Parks and Rec? What was it? No game crash. That's nice. There's definitely a game where crashing really hurts, and I've crashed like 3 times. This better work, man, or we're fucked. Okay, we can, wait, no, we can't get in there. What if I hit this? Will it open the door? Why would this even close anyways, man? Like, why not let me in here no matter what, dude? So here's your problem. I need to get up there to continue the game. I've been up there before. But because of this fast travel system, I don't think they set up the proper flags and shit to let you back in manually. They should just let you do it anyways. There's like no reason. I mean, they essentially should let you do it. There's a fucking button to call this thing back down, but it might be fun. This might be game over, dude. Unless I can find a way to hit this from the back. Just walk through the door. Oh! Oh, what? There's a way for the game to auto put you back places? You're kidding me. But it wouldn't do it in those other zones? That's so picky and choosy. Why is it so far away still? There's like invisible walls, man. That is a cool look, right? Yeah. Oh hey, it's good now. I just had to put myself into some fucking fail state that I've never seen before. Just walk through the door. Wow, it just worked. Yeah, the door that wasn't open until I somehow fell through the ship. Yeah, we're still on, man. We're still gaming for now. Our fucking game's holding on. This fucking string and gum, dude, but we're still fucking moving, man. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Okay, change your schedule and maybe we can make it happen, bub. Jesus, really. Good God. Oh yeah, I still haven't watched the GTA 6 trailer. I don't want to watch it on stream because I'll probably get toasted. That Tom Petty music. I might just watch it during the VGAs. Give me something to discuss. I mean, I've seen little, like, pictures. And I can imagine what a GTA trailer looks like. I mean, it's just gonna be showing off the city, showing off jokes about modern culture. Here's the characters. They're criminals. Please look forward to it. I doubt it's like a big gameplay reveal or anything. Are they? I imagine they'd applied some pretty crazy tech. Like the main characters and shit, or just random NPCs? Was the bell tower guy the soldier? Or is the soldier like someone else? He wasn't received. What, is he dead or gone? Is he pissed? I like Doug, we want more concise. Ah yes, we're moving towards the end. And then he says, I am moving towards the final resolution. With the key I was given by the shaman. It's like, yeah, we know. I guess they want to kind of raise the anticipation a little, but... The theme, of course. Yeah, this explains everything. It just puts it all out in excruciating detail to contrast all this other shit. You'll need this key to get to the southern vernacular, to get to the theme park where the owl's tent is. Then you're gonna have to activate the the wheel so that you can get to the top to get the code to go to the unseen complex and use the 4-digit code to get to the gate. It's like, thanks, pal. Okay. Well, I already assumed this is what was gonna have to happen. Now we have the flag. So now will they let me get to the theme park? I think the music helps a lot. I mean, even though it's just like the same few songs. Make the just running everywhere feel a little bit more like, at least like serene in a way. More palatable. I'm not really like bored by it, but the thing is like I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, and I think it's fucked in a lot of ways, but like I'm not like, I mean, I've been dead bored playing shit many times. I'm not quite there on this one. Like I said, part of it's just how bizarre everything is put together, not working and shit. This is a totally different thing. I was not able to hit this before, and there was a button inside. Now it's a totally different. Okay, I guess since we talked to him, it just spawned something different in here. Well, at least it works now. Okay. It does work, doesn't it? Keeps mentioning the end. Yeah, the writing's a little fucked. If this was voiced, it'd probably come across like Dearest or something. Overly wordy and cryptic, just kind of to be that way. I mean, the story makes more sense than Dearest there. There was one line or 2 lines of voice dialogue, which was really odd. And it even shows voice volume here. I don't know if it's just broken. It definitely feels like one of those where the way they tell the story, where there's text as you're riding around, would be better with voice. But like, I imagine they couldn't get good voice acting. I'd rather have no voice acting than bad voice acting. But it definitely feels like one of those games would benefit from, because of their gameplay. Like if you could forward the dialogue, or if it was only told in areas like that where you could read it, where there's like backlogs, it'd be fine. But it definitely feels like one, because it's always while you're moving around. I benefit a little bit from viewer. I don't personally care too much. builds, I'll just give it a little something extra, I guess. I mean, I play all sorts of shit where I'm fighting and reading stuff, but, you know, Japanese with subs or something, it's not uncommon. Just, I guess, in this particular blend. Well, theme parks are cool. I crashed when I was walking along this area before from underneath. Thank you for explaining that. I do know why they already told me when I went to the other area. Alright. Well, since we are getting close to just somebody fucked up on the paint here, man. Must have been construction. Definitely not. Definitely that. But yeah. Probably gonna go get food after this. Splurge and get something nice. Perhaps. It's not really splurging, but it's splurging for me. Some nice ambience. Let's see if there's any hints as to what to do. I don't really need the story hints anymore, but I'm just gonna leave them on anyways to know if it's bugged or not. It's an airship. Except I didn't go back and touch the one in the city, so it doesn't matter. Now I can't use it. Oh my god. I should have went. I should have just assumed I would need another one. I was like, I didn't want to like fuck anything up and like flag-wise. I was like, let's just move straight to the next thing. Now, am I going to be able to go back manually? We'll find out. I wonder what would be quicker, actually. To go back manually or to go to the Anon? I'll think for a slightly different vista. We'll go back manually. They made the stand out with red. I don't know if there was like switches in there, but there's some different places. The last time we had to restore currents, it was a pretty straightforward affair. Just pointed you in the direction and you found some doohickeys and that was it. It's one of these rooms is actually supposed to lead me, so. Jesus. The 4 doohickeys again. Do you remember the doohickey? Are they just gonna be in random rooms up here? It's really funny, the airship tower I've been to the most is the one I can't go to. Because of the weird flags. Like for some reason, it does count each one you've been. You can't just go to ones you haven't been before. Except you have to make sure you go to one of them first, otherwise anything after doesn't count. It's like, it should just retroactively count it. But they don't expect you to do it out of order. That's the problem. Hopefully they clean that up later. And it's very easy to do it out of order. Like, to think they wouldn't just hide the doohickeys in these rooms. That'd be kind of boring, but because there's so many. I would imagine more they would just be like throughout the park, but I don't know. Maybe not. All these rooms look the same too. Beast. No, I didn't see any of these. I feel like are just repeating copy-pasted rooms. So I assume I need to go to like different areas in the theme park. So the last time we found these, it was all centralized to a tower, right? And then the tower had some spokes that you could walk out on, and they were always at the end of the spokes. Well, there's one that wasn't, but for the most part, it was. This was a little more open. I'm gonna have to manually go back. I wonder if when I'm in town I should just touch the airship. I feel like once we get the code though we're good, and I don't need to like do that extra 5 to 10 minutes of walking. Then again, I thought that this time too. This is the way we're supposed to go. I just clip to the floor. Whole room. Can I jump over this, please? Okay. I have to get creative. Oh, there's nothing in here. So this is what I mean, is like, I did this kind of shit before, so that's how I ended up missing the first airship. Because when you do go into some of these, there's not really much reason to. Are all 4 of the doohickeys in that fucking building, dude? It's just a bunch of copy-pasted rooms back to back. Like, that would be boring. That would be tedious. I have to explore. We've seen this building, dude. It's probably just the same one again. it's not, then that's pretty shit. Yeah, they must all be hiding in there. I guess. I have to check every room or figure out some pattern. What if you did, man? What do you think would happen? Unique gamers. Well, we had the ability to split the load. Although it ended up counting you. I guess that was more of a big story beat. I don't think they do a good job at letting you know that it's totally fine to use illithid powers and there's almost no negative because there's nothing you get for not doing it. Because you get to choose whether you want to go all the way and be full illithid. Oh yeah, there's one. Are they all in this room? Seriously? That's fine, I guess. Like, there's no precedent in this game for anything. Anytime, this is the second time there's ever even been something like this. So you just have no idea. Corrupted worm man. He's got worm brain. I do think that they probably should be a little bit more open about it. It's just more fun gameplay shit, but then again, it's not a huge deal. Especially in co-op. What the? Nice. Nice collusion. Sorry. I forgot to mark this as complete. Or not complete ascent on gameplay. They probably won't send me the other game today, but okay. He's gonna remember the code. Does he already know the code? Get the code. Was Little Witch no good as music shit? Go to the airship in the hotel and go where? Maybe they'll just unlock it for me now. We're gonna have to manually walk back. Cause this chain reaction of fuck flags, man, stemming from one poorly designed part. It sucks. Yeah. I'd thought about playing that game, but I watched Goto play a bit and I was just like, eh. Well, let me just fly back to the city. But wait, it's not fucking possible. I know for sure if I go to Hanan, we can make it back to the city. If I jump in the void. And I make it back manually from here, though. Why is there not a passage, like a fucking walkway here? Whatever. It's like the most obvious way you'd fucking run. I used to have my bike. This is one of those games that should do like an OT or Knots on Your Door where they just assume you have all of the fast travel spots or all the stars, even if you don't technically. This is like insurance. Funny because they do that with the achievement for the save points in this, but easily missable airship triggers. You could cascade into a bigger problem, or not the case. Hopefully we don't get a crash. Don't forget, Thursday night at 6:30 CST is the Game Wars restreamed here. They say you can restream them freely, I mean, like always, but they also say you could sign up to be an official partner and then they'll give you like assets to use on your stream and shit. Like, why would you want to be an official partner? What's the benefit? I'm not sure. They never really explained that. I doubt they like feature you somewhere, but don't think I want to be an official partner with how much I dump on them. Yeah, and save. Clip all those walls real quick. Like, turn on a dime. I should probably touch the airship just in case. It'd be like 5 extra minutes to walk in. But at least then, if I do have to take an airship from the code room for some reason back here, back in that weird grave site, which is like the only side area I can even think of, then I won't have to like run far. I don't even know if there was a way back from the code site when I went there the first time. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to get back this way. And I'll have to run all the way back to the theme park, fly to Hanan, then run all the way back to the town. But because I could get up the vernacular from Hanan, I'd imagine I could do it from here. Even if I have to jump off a fucking bridge. Time to disassociate. So we ride down the highway. Fade out. Yeah, it sounds like there's too many cooks. It's a shame. Okay, they got work. Too many cooks who suck at cooking. I'm still vibing. Hell yeah. Right. So, is the other game he's making like another bunny game or something? Or is it just the people who did Rabby Ribby? Or is it still the same team and he's just the head of it this time? We could just walk right there to the antenna, man. I'd have to walk all the way over there to get to the airship. Let's not risk it. Let's just go. Let's just grab the airship. It's already costed me enough. Yeah. That's, I mean, that was my thing. Is like, Rabby didn't have a great story, but it didn't have, like, much story. And it was just, like, simple. Just chicks and leotards beating the shit out of each other with some nonsense at the end about some reality shit. That's what I've brought up before, is like, at least if you know your story's bad, it's just not there that much, or you just tell a simple story, it works with gameplay fine. It's when you're like forced to read something for over half the game time that's like not good, that it's actually a problem. Use it. Also worried that going up here is gonna mess with the flag, but I don't think the hints matter at this point. I think the hints just pop up when you walk to certain areas, and they're indicative of whether there's like a flag or not that's been raised. So it's a shit story, but with an A-list cast. At least there's no amateur-ass English VA. And I'm not saying every English VA is bad. There's some really good stuff. Zero 276. Really thought he had something. He did not. Yeah. Where's this dialogue coming from? Was this supposed to be the dialogue that popped up after? I was supposed to have touched the airship? Where did it pop up now? It's like, was it supposed to be halfway through the game, or is this for some reason supposed to be now? Are they gonna have the dialogue pop up again about him not being real? Just another part of his mind or whatever? They did explain in the sheet of paper that that was because of the zone. Or are they not gonna have it pop up again because I've already seen it? Like halfway through the game. Where they would block you off from going to the theme park, but not block you off from this. Also, there's no bike. I really don't know why they're stingy with bike. I guess this is a short jaunt where we have to get to the semi-platforming. I am. We've already heard this conversation. This is a really funny thing because every time you jump, it skips forward dialogue. But I need to jump everywhere. And this is like the last conversation with this guy. So fucked. Just like forward the dialogue with a different button, then jump, dude. Like there's some elements of cool stuff like that. There's like some of the visuals, some of the sound, and it being a little different, like elements of the story. It's like you could make where everything's just so crude and not even just in a glitchy technical way. Like I wouldn't call it good, it's just interesting. Copium? No, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Especially the way it is now. Maybe if they like fixed the game. I mean, then I've already seen this twice. Should tell you that there's a problem. Playoff. But yeah. Everything's just way too crude. I hope they make more games and all that, but it is a student game, you can tell in a lot of ways, but we'll talk about more in a bit. Like there's elements that are cool, like I said. None of it really truly comes together. But I wouldn't say none of it, but just like as a whole cohesive package. I'm gonna get some chicken, eat it, and play KDkill. How about that? A little dippy, little blue cheese, Korean barbecue. I already started chain deck. Is it too late? It's been fun so far. One of the biggest indie RPGs ever made. Strange ASMR, yeah. As we ride into the finale that I've already seen half of. Chicky with blue cheese. How about that? Oh, how about that, huh? How about if I just fucking kill you? It's all coming. I've already got some stuff coming in the mail soon that'll be backlog shit. Chicken tendies. Dodo, want some chicken tendies? You offer me death, I offer you tendies. Okay, I'm back. Welcome home. How's that for ASMR? Color? It's a tree clipping in. Nice. That's supposed to be a story hint. Should have just left these on by default. Let's start. There's nothing else to see. That's cool visuals, yeah. All the right elements pieced together with it. I think the music's been fine. I mean, some of it can maybe not have enough variety because you can be walking around the same areas forever, but kind of cool atmosphere. But yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, it's still mostly this, and then the glitches and the bugs and the story being a little off and probably not concise enough. And nothing paranormal. Attendees coming up. I guess I'll play it when I really want to, man. What's wrong with that? The obelisk. Thing's casting a light? It's just the light itself. Oh. When? I'll have to see. I'm transported to another world here. He just let the end of this game set, please. War Group 2. I'm not playing War Group 2 ever. Like, there's some elements of the story you can feel they're going for. Like, him wondering if this chick, you know, maybe didn't treat her right, or maybe didn't quite understand her, but then in the end wondering if it worked out for her, and the passage of time. And obviously some of the presentation music and stuff is cool. I just wish all the elements came together, because I feel like you could have something strong here. I feel like you gotta be like monk-like patience too, especially with all the glitches. Not to mention deciphering what's fucking real and what's supposed to be symbolic, which I think everything's actually just literal now. It's just trying to be artsy. Tiny builds then? What happened to them? The Hello Neighbor universe not pan out? Yeah, I just wish there was more of a connection with Found in the land beyond the seas. I wish there was more connection with him and her, at least just more feeling from him. He's obsessed, but didn't say anything. Understanding. Yeah, cool art, man. He just pieced, man. He just left her. He just needed answers and that was it. A lot of these characters and things they're talking about, like, it doesn't all quite fit. They try to get way too artsy with how they explain some of this. I don't know if they want you just to read in really hard or if it's just going overboard. Like, there's elements of cool shit going on, man. Just wish the package was a little... a little cleaner, man. Like, there's cool conceptual shit. Like, I mean, obviously the visuals and stuff are cool, especially the art at the end and all that. But stuff where they're showing, talking about like forgetting stuff and things disappearing and how like literal or not that is. Like, you could make something really tight. I think it just gets too lost in the sauce on some of the writing and some of the reading into it. Like, you're supposed to be there with it and kind of getting each emotional hit, but like the concept of what's going on and like, you know, how out of order things were with the glitches and how literal you're supposed to take some stuff has kind of made it so you kind of get the foundation kind of gets pulled out from under it half the time. And the idea of going on some big journey and seeing this otherworldly, like, beyond, and then just saying fuck it because he wasn't there for that, just to kind of round out like a human romance, that's a good thing. I mean, it's interesting way to more end it. And then just saying, you know, oh, see ya, you know, just forgetting about it all, and it disappears, and just truly closing off a chapter, I guess, of your life or whatever. But it just doesn't work out that way. You can see elements of it, you might feel a little something there. They might do some cool stuff with visuals or music or something. They kind of like, there's elements there. That's why I said, like, if they ever made another one, I feel like, you know, like another game in general, like, you know, there's probably some stuff you could definitely clean up and make something neat. But yeah, man, I don't know. So overall, I would say I couldn't recommend it to anyone. I don't think. You'd have to be very, it'd be me or something. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even say like I liked it. I would say there's just elements of it that worked out. I would say it was interesting. That's probably more what I would say. Partially because of the morbid curiosity. a lot of game design doesn't quite work, how broken a lot of stuff is, how they just very unconventional. Am I hearing 2 songs at once? Like, this is what I'm talking about, bro. this is what I'm talking about. I think the end of the game has got like 2 songs going on. Yeah, it's just one of those where the game design of I would, it's like it's unconventional in technically some ways, but it's not really. It's a linear game. You don't have to really think about where to go or apply any like some thought or any knowledge or anything. But it is this like giant open world where, for all intents and purposes, just like going down the highway on a bike for like 10 minutes at a time is probably not a good idea. One sec, I'm gonna spew here. Well, like, but they do it anyways, and then there's just like a bunch of areas with like no detail or like nothing in them really going on that you can like run through, and like just like kind of non-stop story that reiterates a lot of shit, and I can't figure out if it's how literal it's trying to be and how not. Like it just does all these things that kind of go against like probably what you consider like good games, and it's just like interesting seeing it. It doesn't quite work, and it's not, but it's not like really breaking the mold that hard. It's a relatively linear like walking sim. It just takes it to like an extreme and tries to get by purely on like aesthetics and visuals, and I mean I guess the momentum of the story, which I don't think that worked out, but so it's just kind of interesting. I mean, I wasted probably half of my game time because the game's broken. And I guess, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just so deep down the hole, play too much shit that there's some kind of something just super interesting about that. Then captivating. Yeah, so like I said, there's elements. Like I said, some of the visuals for sure. Some kind of the dreamlike, kind of almost serene feel of it. Elements you can pick up of the story, of themes or just ideas, concepts, like the disappearing place and all this and that. And I mean, obviously the person talking to themselves. And, but you know, the other personality thing. I mean, that's been done, but you know, it's like there's things there, right? Where in your mind you could make up a story, and when you that kind of works, like it makes it all work a little better. But then like it still kind of does sometimes when you couple it with like decent art and music. It's one of those things like, I don't know if you guys have had stories like that where it's like for all intents and purposes maybe it's like total dog shit, but like it kind of nails one bit of presentation and one like emotional moment or something. I was like, I wouldn't say this like nailed anything like that, but like it's like that where it's like I could feel like it doesn't deserve like getting some kind of like moment or something despite what came before. I was like, I think it has moments like that where there's like an audio-visual combo and just enough like of a story that you understand where it could almost be like a short, right? You know, like it could literally just be that last conversation, like where he's just like, I've traveled a long journey to find this person, and you know, and then he goes there and he's going through this otherworldly thing, and you know, you think you'd want to find out what's beyond, and more or less fucking ascend, but it's not. He's just like wants to know if, you know, they're pretty much just kind of done. So you don't even need the story before that to get like that kind of feeling, right? And then him reminiscing on it, just totally moving on. But then all this shit with like this lieutenant and like the actual zone being like some forget everything room and the 15-kilometer radius and all this and that. It's like it's just so much extra stuff and it kind of gets in the way. And then how they like repeat stuff over and over, trying to like build up this final feeling, and all these other characters that show up, and there's just kind of, it gets kind of get lost in the sauce. It feels like it's something that should be a bit more just like focused. I appreciate they try to throw in lore and stuff, but I feel like it could have been just more concise and more, I guess, powerful that way. But it's interesting enough. But yeah, the biggest problem with this game is it is just super unpolished. I mean, I'm clipping through shit nonstop. I'm fucking doing things out of order very easily. The game's crashing and I'm having to walk back 10-20 minutes. The out of order thing cascaded into this huge issue where I could never like fly back to this area, and I had to like backtrack through zones, and you can't use the funicular sometimes to do that, and they don't block you off from certain areas, but like you can still walk over to them. So like I got the final bit of dialogue in the game there before I'd even done like half of it. You know, like double sound playing and goofy shit like that. Like there's just one second. A lot of shit just broken, which obviously takes you out of it in like immersion, like a visual kind of immersion level, but also in like a puzzle. Like, is the game broken or am I missing something? There's no precedent or like dialogue that kind of like hints us to like a puzzle or maybe a particular thing you're supposed to do to make some of this work. Or is the game just broken, right? Straight up. I mean, I went on the forums and saw a bunch of people having the same problem I did. Little did I know, you just are supposed to go back to where you came from, and if you just happen to miss a couple elevators, you missed a story beat, an airship, and that doesn't let you use the other airship. even after you've touched it before, it doesn't count it, because you have to touch the first one first for any of them to count. And it's just, there's just odd shit like that, and it just cascades into this fucking huge problem. The flashlight not working. You don't even need the flashlight. There really not being probably enough bikes and weird shit like that. Like, there's just all sorts of little problems, and like on a fundamental level, the like raw level of walking sim is probably, I think it gets carried by like art and visuals a bit, and just obviously just being really curious like what shenanigans on a technical level is gonna happen next. But like, it's just hard to think that, you know, those are like the right call or something. But I think if it minimum, if it was polished enough, like, you know, collision was fine. Things couldn't be fucked out of order, because it is a linear game. It tells a linear story. This is not like Outer Wilds or something where you can just go anywhere and figure things out. Like, there is an order you're supposed to do every event, despite it being kind of pretending to be open, even though it's not really. But yeah, putting up all the right walls, making sure you go to certain places and doing orders right. Like, if all of that was just polished, you never ran into any big issues, no crashing. Even then, I think the wordiness of the story and how it tries to be artsy, where it kind of like almost dips into the symbolic, even though it's supposed to be all taken pretty literal, like, that would be a problem. So that would kind of fuck with the momentum a little bit. All the random characters and stuff like that, the connection. Because I mean, there's dialogue I missed that had to do with her, I think, at the very beginning of the game. The first bit of dialogue I saw was not the first bit of dialogue, I don't think. So there's just odd stuff like that. I don't know who the character was that was like standing around the lady. Maybe that's supposed to be her. But then again, there was like, she was standing over like the grave too. So I don't know if there is some symbolic that I'm supposed to read into, but yeah, I don't know. In a way, it's like I appreciate the extra lore and like setting stuff, because maybe you could build out an interesting world where, like, you know, oh, this is the normal society and this is where he lives, and then juxtapose that with a more surreal, like, forgotten city where he lived a different life that he's starting to remember. Like, that's where it would be like good, right? Where it'd be important. But like, you just don't get that element. Instead, it just adds to like confusion and And not in a we're supposed to read really deep into it because it's really deep kind of story. I feel like it's going for pretty clear emotional beats, and it is kind of miss a little bit. So. Other than that, I mean, I think most people would just dip on this gameplay wise. I mean, it's mostly walking sim. I don't mind walking sims. It just depends on the story and you know whatever they're gonna hit me with, visually, sound, and all that. But it does pretend to have, I would say pretend, but act like there's a little bit of gameplay. I feel like it's almost there just to put it on the Steam page, where you essentially just go collect free doodads from around you and then put them in, and that's it. Then you flip a switch, and you do that twice. And the first time you have to explore around a tower, but the second time it's just in the room with you. It's pretty much just a joke of gameplay. It's barely anything. Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like because it was so focused on the slow walk everywhere, like every elevator should have been an actual elevator. The airship should actually just took you to places, but I guess that would break the game or be fucked in some way. But I almost feel like they should have went all the way with it. But it was interesting. And if it is a student game or like a first game, I mean, you know, there's some cool elements there. They go on to make something the next level, but still something that has some kind of vision thereafter or whatever. I have no idea. Some that takes. I mean, maybe they don't want to make another game like this, but there's some cool stuff there. It'd be cool to see them kind of push the envelope a bit. Yeah, as it is, I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, I don't think I would recommend it, even say it was good, but like, there's interesting stuff about it. One of those. Like, I definitely don't like regret my time with it. I also think $20 is probably a little steep. If I wasn't like, it wasn't broken half the time. I mean, it would have been probably like, yeah, like 3 or 4 hours. And it's mostly just, you know, on a bike or walking. Not necessarily bad. There's 2 hour games that are worth it just because they have such like an audiovisual smorgasbord or just like a really solid story, right? But I think the level of polish here and stuff, I find a lot of people would probably feel the bite of the 20 a little too much. I think it's a little rich, but that's alright. I mean, I've seen worse priced games. But yeah, I think that's about it. There's one more else kind of throughout the playthrough, I suppose. We kind of broke it down up and down the entire time because there wasn't a whole lot else to really say. But like I said, I did enjoy the kind of serene atmosphere feel. Maybe I was just in the mood for that. But I gotta say, it's hard to really give kudos to many elements as a whole. There's just like little moments of cool shit and like decent atmosphere the whole way through. The rest is pretty poor. So. Anywho, add myself to the list of probably like 6 people that have played this, but I like that. I like kind of discovering more relatively, I suppose, unknown shit. But yeah, that's why I say I wouldn't recommend it to anyone because it is truly just like just walking. Like I said, there's interesting stuff, and that they do go for like a hyper walking sim like that is quite the choice, and you kind of just want to ride it out on that alone. It could be kind of strange just riding around and stuff. I mean, in reality, you'd have to like walk everywhere or something, right? So like maybe they're going for something like that. Yeah, I don't think it quite works out, but it's interesting. There's not really much else to see. Yeah, if that's the whole game, and then obviously the dialogue at the bottom. It's one of those I think with a good voice acting, it would probably help it a little bit. But I'm glad they didn't put VA. There was weird because there was VA. There was 2 lines of actual voice acting spoken, and I don't know where they came from. It was a chick's voice, but yeah, it was bizarre. The lost transcription at the abandoned port. Oh, I'm not getting the plat, man. there's very few optional things to do in this game. That's what I mean. Is like there is like 2 optional things you do, like ring the bell and then apparently find this. But like, then it just doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't do anything, or there's not a precedent for it, right? Like he does do something. My bad, but like there's so little to actually explore. You go to all sorts of, you can run all these buildings and they're just copy pasted or they're just dead empty, right? And like maybe some of it's by design to make it feel more like this derelict kind of abandoned place, but I mean that would be fine, right? Is it when you start to understand, yes, I should really just focus on where I'm supposed to go. The rest of this is like abandoned or empty. But then they'll like put a couple side things anyways. And you're just like, well, I'm not gonna run around and fucking check everything. It's odd. Time to log in and do some dailies on Hawkeye Star Rail Bros. Start up Genshin. Just kidding. I already started another game. Rolls? Actually, we might be able to get a roll. Triple tickets. Could save up my rolls, but I don't know if you have to log in 3 times in a row or 7 times in a row or 7 times in the event. If it's in a row, we're fucked. Why is this updating again? Rolls? I'm literally just logging in to get the limited tickets, maybe. Oh yeah, that game was also really fucking loud, or really just quiet. I haven't logged in since the last time I logged in. Blame Gunman. He said rolls, dude. What about rolls? Bro. Oh, is Argenti out now or something? Log into the game. Where's the free rolls thing at? Not free rolls. Did I already get them all? Did I already get all the tickets and I forgot? Oh yeah, let me see here. What's that? Pretty funny. Buzz fine. Wasn't there already a Buzz like Caddy Mountain that we have? Yeah, I wouldn't want one that has the same thing. Just have it be something else. What are you downloading? DK man? Gotcha. It's fucking over, bros. You could just have it be. Oh, you're doing Season of Discovery. Holy. Yeah, you could do, huh? I mean, we don't want it to get in the way of like actual speech either. Have it be. Bro. Yeah, I'm surprised, man. You're going for it. Like this level 15 I get is something here. Can I even get the level 15? think so. Can't control himself. Jesus, dude. Bro. It's over, man. Oh man, let us know how it is, dude. I mean, I hope it's cool. It seems interesting. You've been out on a dark road with min-maxed vanilla people. It's better than gotcha, brother. I guess. Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's not literally one we already have. I mean, it's whatever. Let me know, I'll add it. Seems funny. But anyways, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. Um, so I'm gonna put this in the mail. We'll get some food. And then we'll come back and I guess we'll continue Chained Echoes. Yeah, but then every time somebody types in "buh," they're gonna get both, and they're gonna have to tab over to the other one. Yeah, well, sucks when emotes have the same start, unless they're total troll shit you'd never use. All right. Anywho, yeah, but you can type the last word and it's fine. "Buh," you have to type out the entire fucking thing to get just that one. Yeah, all 4 letters. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Saving the keystroke is better than having it be "buh" instead of "wah." It doesn't matter much at that point. Right. Anyways, I'll be back. Probably be 30 minutes to an hour. Get some food. And we'll do more Chain Echoes. Hopefully that ends up keeping my interest. But we'll see. Anyways.